Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear listener, I am speaking Dr. Muhammad Sajid. Today topic is about the participant observation. In research, basically there are two paradigms. One is the quantitative research and second is the qualitative research. And as you know, in the qualitative research, different tools are used like interview, observation are the two major tools which are being used in the qualitative research. So there are many stages of observation. So one of the part of the observation is the participant observation. Now let us we see what is the role of an observer as a participant and what are the key features of the participant observation. Criteria for trustworthiness, there are four criteria of the trustworthiness in the participant observations. The first is the credibility. Credibility assesses the degree to which the report links true to the participant study. Dependability assesses the degree to which the research process is trackable. And third is the confirmability, assess the connection between the conclusion drawn and the sources of data which supports those conclusions. And the fourth is the transferability, describes the level of description necessary to allow readers whether the qualitative report can be applied to other topics or setting of interest. The next is the uh, Dalham's speaking in 1972, the heuristic framework in this the situation and the participants' norms of interactions or generally instrumentality key. So the role of the participant is very important according to the situation because he has to note down all the main roles and the main themes which will be emerged from his field notes. The next is there are the three stages for the participant observations. Uh, like a dance, researcher must be flexible and adaptive to the dynamic process. So there are the three major stages of participant observation according to the Janik 1994. The first is the warm-up period, and the second is the floor exercise stage, and third is the cool down stage. In the warm-up period, the researcher began the process with the general question of interest. These questions will evolve throughout the research process. The researcher just warm up the participants. The literature view is written to achieve theoretical sensitivity. The researcher initiates a reflexive journal and a journal for field notes. The researcher selects the field site, the where the researcher has to work. The researcher decides the type of the role they will assume. The researcher seeks to gain and sustain access to the site. So these all things are the warm-up period. Next is the role of the researcher. There are two main things. One is the observation strategies and the degree of the involvement. This is very important. The first observation strategy is the Complete participant role. In this, the observer is a complete participant uh, in the task, and the second is the researcher is as a participant and as well as the observer role. Both are playing. And the third is a observer just as a participant, and in the fourth level, the observer is a complete observer. The degree of involvement may be the complete member, active member, and the peripheral member. The researcher needs to carefully assess the nature of informed consent given her goals, her desired goal, role, and the community of interest. A gatekeeper, formal or informal, will be the key to gaining access to your site. A formal gatekeeper can offer consent for you to study her organization. Sponsors help you establish relationship with other community members by taking an interest in your project. Informants are those members of the community that you go for information about the community and for conducting member checks. Prolonged engagement in the field helps to ensure the greater credibility of the study. The second period is the floor exercise period. In this, there are five steps in the floor exercise period. First is the sampling. Two is the constructing field notes and visual records. Third is the making ethical decisions. And the fourth is the triangulating sources of data. And the fifth is the sustaining elasticity. This is the flow exercise period that starts from the sampling. After the sampling, we construct to the field notes. The observer note down the field notes and the visual records. Third is the ethical decisions. And then triangulate the sources of data. That is the fourth stage. Sampling participant activities and scenes, maximum variation sampling, typical case sampling, snowball sampling, theoretical construct sampling, critical case sampling, convenience sampling. There are six types of sampling as a participant observer: maximum variation sampling, typical case sampling, snowball sampling. Snowball sampling, as you know, as we met with a person who is convenient to our sample, we join it, and then conveniently the other members we met, that is also a part of our sampling. Snowball sampling and the convenience sampling are the same things. Typical case sampling, that are those members which are under observation and that are the typical to our case. And the first one is a maximum variation sample. Then step take place the constructing the field notes. Do not trust your memory. You have to write down all the things, all the main things you are observing. Taking notes during or soon after your observation take place. Take notes in stages. First, take initial notes to help you record observations. Second, take detailed and comprehensive notes, filling in the initial notes. Field notes should include detailed descriptions, initial analysis, as well as the reflexive notes on the research process. Field notes should be the chronological. The content of field notes will vary according to the purpose of the study, but should include the who, what, when, where, and why of the observations. Triangulating sources of data. Use multiple and different sources of data. Use multiple and different methods of research. Use multiple researches. Use multiple theoretical perspectives. Because as you in a research are conducting an interview and you think the prices of what items are increasing more nowadays in the market, the respondent tell you that the prices of the wheat and the rice are increasing double from the last month. But in the observation, you can go to a market and you can observe practically whether these prices have increased or not. And this is a triangulation of data. And the second in my research, as I have conducted at in my PhD level, that was a teacher performance. So I gave a questionnaire to the teachers about their performance. They gave their feedback. But practically, I manage 50 teachers in my sample as a observer. I conduct the observation, and practically I sit in their class and observe whether they are fulfilling these aspects or not. The third is the cool down period. Data gathering is complete when saturation has been achieved. So, observation is not a single process. You can do it twice, you can do it by three times, you can do it by the formal convey that I am coming in your class for observation, or you can go there sudden in the class. So these are the saturation levels. When data are repetitive and interpretations are refined, saturation has been achieved. In order to determine saturation, the researcher must analyze data as it is collected. The researcher must keep her relationship with participant in mind when deciding how to leave the field. Additional member checks may be necessary as the researcher continue to write the research report. So these were the key features which I have discussed in this video, the participant observation, and you will keep